Good evening and welcome back to Cannon Chatter TV. I'm G Talks Arsenal, your host for tonight's show. And yeah, we're here. Obviously, we're going to talk about the first leg in the Carabao Cup Semi Final against Liverpool. We're also going to touch upon some transfers in terms of outgoings. And we'll also have a little bit of a chat about lack of incomings so far this window. And we'll also look forward ahead to tomorrow night's second leg semi-final game against Liverpool at the Emirates. As you'll notice, we're not joined by Lottie just yet. She is watching. She's doing a watch-along at the moment on another channel, watching the women's game. But hopefully she'll be joining us soon. But I am pleased to be joined by Stephen. How are you doing, Stephen?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm tired tonight, but other than that, I'm good. Kind of strange being back. It feels like forever since we've been on now.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It's just over a week. I'm kind of said we'd be back last Friday, and then obviously one thing or another, we didn't make it on, and we kept putting this week's show off. We were going to do Monday, then we changed it to Tuesday. Then yesterday we thought, well, we'll leave it to tonight in case the game's cancelled, and so it's good to finally be back on air. Back chatting to you, back chatting to other guys in the chat. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Good. Yeah, so I'm going to get right to it because obviously we've got a lot to get through. So I'm going to run the intro video and we'll see you on the other side.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing. The first time it's happened.
So yes, welcome back to Cannon Chatter TV. We've done our introductions and we've done a little run through in terms of what we're going to go through on tonight's show. So I don't think there's any better place to start than with the lineup for last week's game against Liverpool. So let me just bring this up. It's been a while since I've hosted, so do bear with me. Where are we? Right, I'm going to bring it up now. Here we go. So obviously, last week we had the game against Liverpool. Now, Stephen, I'll go to you first because obviously it's only you with me. And to be honest, I didn't actually watch the game. So apologies, guys. I can't give you my opinion. I can't ramble on for the next 20, 25 minutes about the lineup or the game because I didn't really see much of it. It was my missus' birthday and I happened to be at the cinema watching the new Spider-Man movie. I did keep tabs on, obviously, the lineup, and that was about it. The rest of it, I came out and then literally just my timeline blew up in terms of, obviously, what had happened and what had gone on during the game. But if we go all the way back to, obviously, when the lineup was announced, we had the following lineup, which was Ramsdale in goal, Cedric, back four of Cedric, Ben White, Gabriel and Tierney. We had a pivot in the middle, midfield of Sambi and number 34. And we also had Laka kind of playing the number 10 role with a front three of Martinelli, Saka, and Nketiah. So, obviously, there were circumstances as to why this team was fielded. I think many people were expecting a much stronger side given the opposition, but obviously due to COVID, injuries, etc. This is the team that Arteta fielded. What were your kind of general thoughts when the team sheet came out about an hour or so before the game?
It was kind of, my general thought was, it's the best we can do. We know, obviously, there was not a massive amount of COVID, but there was COVID issues. There was a lot of injuries, and obviously we have the likes of Party away to the AFCON, obviously on Nani, Alba away as well, albeit they're not sort of first team regulars anymore, but it's still, good squad players not there. And you kind of looked at the lineup and you went, well, could we have done any better? I don't think there was anybody else that really could have come in. Obviously, our backup right back went to Roma on loan.
Which is so ironic.
So Cedric comes in. Sambi gets another opportunity in midfield, which was always going to be the case next to, and I love the fact that we literally have an empty shirt on the pitch.
Big up Chris for that. I didn't even ask him to do that, but he did it.
Yeah, I mean, literally an empty shirt. I'm sure we'll come on to him in a minute. So I mean, yeah, the only sort of thing I sort of thought was Nketiah up front, and Lacazette in the hole there. Could we have played, taking a chance with the likes of Patino or someone else, giving them another opportunity? But given the enormity of the game, I think it was the right option to probably go with Nketiah up front and put Lacazette in that hole. And I think Nketiah was probably unfortunate to be the one who was substituted off whenever we needed to make the change. But yeah, I mean, I was happy enough with the lineup given what we had available.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think for me, it was a key lineup, and I think it was mainly due to obviously, the limited resources that Arteta had at his disposal, plus the performance against Nottingham Forest. It was a really, really poor performance, despite obviously, again, there were issues with regards to who was and who wasn't available. But I remember saying to you, and I said to a couple of people on Twitter, my main concerns, there were three main concerns I had. And one was Cedric playing at right back. The other was Sambi playing in the middle. And the other was Nketiah. Now, Cedric, for me, you know what? He's a player that I've kind of to and froed with over his, during his time at Arsenal. I've seen him, have really solid games, and I've been quite impressed. I remember there was a time last season when he couldn't get into the team, and I know me and you couldn't work out why he wasn't in the team. In terms of, he seemed like, for me, he was a really good option to have. But recently, I've really not been impressed with his performances. Sambi, it's not so much criticism of Sambi, but it's just in terms of like his performance in the league against Liverpool. He was completely out of his depth in that game. So I just thought to myself, again, that is a concern. But I think obviously having, the empty shirt next to him, a bit more experience, I think that was probably, a really wise choice. Him and Patino in the middle against Nottingham Forest just did not work. And obviously, lastly, Nketiah, and that's just because, as much as I really want this guy to do well for Arsenal, he's just not Arsenal level. And, even against Nottingham Forest, the very few chances we did have, he just proved why, I think most Arsenal fans, are not going to be too sad to see the back of him. Because, in a game where there are very few opportunities, he's just not the geezer you want on the end of one of them, because chances are he's not going to put it away. So yeah, I had my concerns. At the same time, like you, I just thought to myself, look, this is the best team Arteta can put out there. So we kind of just got to go with it. But I have to admit, I looked at the lineup just before, because the film we was going to watch, Spider-Man No Way Home, it was due to start at 8. So we'd gone into the cinema and I'd already had an opportunity to look at the lineup. And I just thought to myself, you know what? We're not going to win this game. We ain't got a prayer. So yeah, obviously I missed the entire game and came out to the scoreline at the end and saw the context. But we're not going to go into too much detail in terms of the match itself, because it was a while ago. And we're going to move on to obviously transfers and look ahead to tomorrow night's game. But obviously there was a major incident. It was on about the 24th minute. Once again, that man, number 34, ball was played over the top. And I think it was Diego Jota who was kind of bearing down on goal. And however you want to look at it, number 34 put in a challenge. And immediately the ref, ran over and showed him a red card. Now, what is your general opinion? Because, number 34 massively splits, fan opinion, particularly, obviously Arsenal fans' opinions. You got one side that think he's a fantastic footballer and we can't play football unless he's in the side. And you got others that just want him replaced ASAP. I already know what corner you sit in. But in terms of that incident as an isolated incident, what are your thoughts around that challenge and that decision to send him off?
All right. So, yeah, you know what corner I sit in. I would say most people watching this know what corner I sit in. But for anybody that doesn't, I cannot stand the man. I don't rate him as a footballer. I don't rate him as a person. I think this false love that he has for the club I don't believe it for 1 second. That said, as you said, we have to look at the incident objectively.
Yeah.
And take it in its own right. For me, it was a sending off. And I know there's a lot of debate and people have different opinions. Take out who it was. I'm going to be completely unbiased. And as I say, I'm putting aside my feelings. And I know it probably sounds like I'm not, but I am. No matter who that is a sending off. Now, the reason I say that is if you watch it back, you can see him looking and looking and looking. He looks at least 3 times at Jota. So he knows exactly where he is. He takes a wild swing. And I think he actually did there was someone that commented that he had done an Instagram live thing. And he basically admitted that he knew it was a sending off. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
He swung. And it was a kind of swing and hope that he might get the ball, but he knew fine rightly that he was going to end up getting sent off for it. And his sort of attitude is he was taking one for the team.
Yeah.
For me, I don't think he was. I think it was a reckless challenge. I think Jota still had to bring the ball down, control it, and get past, the goalkeeper who was coming towards him. Can you argue that Ramsdale should take a bit of the heat for it because, he started to come and then he stopped but at the same time, at no point could I see Xhaka looking at him. So for me, it was a clear sending off. He knew exactly what he was doing. And he put us in a difficult position that we had to then spend 65 minutes of the match, 65 minutes of the match defending with 10 men. Yeah. And to be fair, they did it fantastically. Ben White was absolute rock in that game. He was absolutely brilliant. And I've said, and I've been quite critical of Ben White, saying that, for me, he still hasn't shown why he's a £50 million player. He really started to show why we paid £50 million for him that night. But as for 34, for me, it doesn't matter who that is, that's a sending off all day long. Yeah. It doesn't matter who the player is. I know he maybe does get a slightly tougher time from referees because he is known for doing these things, but it was still a sending off. And I'm going to say something now, and again, people will think I'm probably saying this because of my bias towards the fact I don't like him, but for the sake of his own career, he needs to go. I'm not sure if we're going to come on to what came out today. At some point,
we'll probably touch on it at some point.
But that aside, even if we leave that aside, and the rumors are that it's him involved, you leave that aside. For me, he's got to the point now where he is a marked man, and refs are quick to take the card out with him at times. And there has been times that he's got booked, and I don't think he should have.
And that's not going to change.
Yeah, I'll be completely honest about that. But it isn't going to change. It's not going to get better for him. And for the sake of his own career, he needs to go. He needs to this summer. If not this winter, this summer, he needs to say, right, I'm off. Arsenal, let's come to some agreement. Let's get me out of here. And it's time to part ways because it's only going to get worse for him.
Yeah. Well, it almost happened. It almost happened in summer. It looked pretty dead cert that he was going to go to Roma.
He's had something like 50 yellow cards since he's come. He's the most booked player, and in the last, he's had more red cards than anybody in the top 5 leagues of European football in the last 10 years, with the exception of Sergio Ramos.
Wow. And he's renowned for being, a bit of a liability, in those circumstances. So
he has to take some responsibility himself for his own actions. Yeah. But at the same time, yes, he probably is picked on a little. Yeah. But for the good of his own career, he needs to go.
No problem. What we're going to do now is I'm going to go to some of the comments. And after that, I'm going to get your general kind of view on obviously how the game went. Obviously after that incident, but we'll go to the chat for now. Matt Darrington, hello. Anyone there? Oh, that was just literally before we went live. Hi, good evening, Matt. Stu here. Hey, folks. Ross, hi, chaps. Hope you're well. We've got Keith. Hello, everyone. We've got Matt again. Hello, all good. And yourself? Yeah, we're all good this end. Stu, hey, Keith. Stu again, all good, thanks. Back to Ross. So lots of highs, lots of hellos in the chat amongst the regulars. Where are we? Now we've got Matt Darrington says here, Sambi is raw and new to the Premier League, and after not playing much lately, hasn't helped him either. And yeah, that is a very valid point. I don't know what your opinion on this is, Stephen, but I honestly don't believe that Arteta planned to play Sambi as much as Sambi has played. What's your opinion on that one?
Yeah, I don't think he planned to play him as much at the start as he had.
Yeah.
But obviously he was thrown in pretty quickly. If I remember right, Partey was injured at the start of the season.
Yeah,
he
was. Yeah.
So he missed the start of the season. So he was thrown in pretty much straight away. And then obviously 34 got sent off against City. So again, it extended his run of games. He then has sort of been in and out of the team. He hasn't had a continual run because obviously every time 34 comes back, he's straight back in. And Partey has managed to keep himself pretty fit, this season. And has been sort of a mainstay in the team. Whether he deserved to be or not at some points, I don't know. But I think it's been difficult for Sambi. I don't think, as you say, he was expected to play so much at the start. But then once he got in, he was taken back out again after a handful of games, and it kind of play havoc with your confidence.
Yeah, big time.
For a lot of these players, they're confidence players. They need to be playing regularly.
Yeah.
So he's obviously he'll get another couple of games now. It'll be interesting to see what happens when 34 is back from this suspension.
Well, we know he's going to go straight back into the team unless,
or we may get some midfielders in. We just don't know.
Yeah.
There's obviously something going on. I know we're going to come on the transfers in a minute. There's obviously stuff going on with transfers.
Yeah.
We can't be letting all these players go and no one coming in.
Definitely.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens. He deserves his opportunity because he has been really good at times.
Yeah, yes.
And I thought, again, he was another one I thought did well in sort of a very tough defensive performance against Liverpool. So, it'll be good to see him again tomorrow night.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for that. Stu here. Our back line against Liverpool and the rest of the 10 men were amazing, and our away fans were just superb. Yeah, like I said, I didn't watch the game, but I saw some of the clips in terms of the noise that the away fans, the Arsenal fans were making. And, it was, I could just imagine what it was like for the players. They definitely made up, for that one, lacking player on the pitch in terms of the noise and the support that the lads got. So that was amazing. TSG22_HD. Hello, everyone, and good evening. Good evening to yourself. Chesney McGrath, he has to be sold, costs us too many games. We've also got, we invite Lottie in at this stage.
Hi,
Lottie, how you doing?
Oh, I've been better. We've just been knocked out of the Conti Cup. We just lost to Man United 1-0, and I'm not very happy right now.
No problem. Well, I'll give you a couple of minutes to settle in.
And I've just seen Stu's comment. That's put me in a worse mood. That's not good. That's not good.
Sambi against Liverpool had a good game and worked hard, better than the Forest game at least, but that's probably due to a bit less game time. Stu here again. It was a sending off, regardless who it was. However, would you have taken possibly a 1-0 and 11 men on the field for the rest of the game, or down to 10 men? I don't know, really. I just thought, because I never watched the game, the first thing when I came out of the cinema I saw was, obviously I saw the result, which I was amazed at. But I was even more amazed when I realised that we'd gone down to 10 men so early on in the game. And for me, I would have easily taken a 1-0. If you'd said to me at the beginning of the game, looking at both teams, bar Mane and Salah, they had a full strength side. I probably would have taken a 1-0 at Anfield. But given the fact that we went down to 10 men, I would definitely have taken a 1-0 at Anfield. The fact that we got a 0-0 with 10 men, I think, was just absolutely phenomenal, really. Really, really, good defensive performance from the lads. Russ here saying, I would argue that he wasn't the last man and Jota wasn't in control of the ball. Yellow at best. So we've got some.
Are we talking about the 34 red card?
Yeah, we're talking about that.
Red card all day, Russ.
Yeah,
I had a disagreement with Russ on Ryan's channel about 34. So no, red card all day.
But it's all good. It's all good. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But yeah, Lottie and Stephen are definitely in agreement that was a red card all day. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but I think it was a bit of a 50-50, if I'm to be honest. I think it was a bit reckless, but I wouldn't necessarily say it was dangerous in some way. Or you know what? I think it was dangerous, but I think there wasn't much of like an intention, to kind of hurt or harm. So I think it was more 50-50, but hey, it's just based on opinion. I think in real time, it looked pretty bad though. TSG22_HD, have you showed the pictures yet from myself on the Nottingham Forest game?
No, we haven't. And that's my fault. I forgot to send him the G. He was prepping tonight's show and I forgot to send that. I've just had so much going on. I will show them on Friday night on our review show. Definitely. My apologies. I know you'd send them to me and I promised to get them on.
No worries. Chesney, there's rumours Arteta is going to sell him in the summer. I think, pretty much. There's a lot of rumours with regards to midfielders at the moment. Even El Nene, I believe, is probably on the way out this window or next. Mark here, evening, guys. Spurs got beat. Did they? Okay. Did they not?
No.
Seriously? No.
Keep reading down the comments.
No. Okay, last second goal 2-2. Oh, gosh.
No.
Go on.
Keep going.
Equalised. And those just
one more.
2-2.
Keep going.
Oh, God, are you serious?
Yeah.
They got the winner.
Yeah, the same person within 2 minutes. Is it Bergwijn? I can't pronounce his name.
I think he's on the verge of leaving the club as well, to be honest, from what I've seen in terms of rumours.
Oh, Leicester bottled it.
That's not good.
And how Brentford haven't scored, I don't know.
Yeah. Going to be the worst now, Lottie. Leicester 2-3, those up the road. Yeah, not good at all. Unrelated note, how small are the gloves in the membership pack?
I have no idea. I haven't had mine yet, unless you've bought it with your... Jamie, did you buy it with your points on your card? Can you let me know? Because I didn't buy mine yet. I don't know if I want it.
Gary here. Hello, G, Stephen and Lottie. Football gods hate us today. Yeah, tell me about it. I was really excited. Are you following me around
tonight or what? Gary was on my last stream.
Keith, hi guys. Hi, Keith. Leicester bottled the lead in injury time to end up losing. Russ saying Lottie, thumbs up. Also got Riddy Sakar. Evening, Riddy. A while since I've seen you. Evening, Cannon Chatter. Stu, hey Keith. Fox is bottling it again. Yeah, he seems to be a bit of a bottle job, this Brendan Rodgers. Well, no, from what I've noticed. No, they did. They lost. We've got some score lines coming through. It's between us and Spurs for fourth. I got my membership pack. We're 6 now. Don't worry. We'll soon beat Burnley at the weekend and climb the table again. And yeah, with the points, truly pointless. Right. So I'll probably come to you now, Lottie, obviously, because I've spoken to Stephen with regards to lineup. We've spoken about the Xhaka incident. I know you've kind of briefly given your opinion. But obviously going down to 10 men in the 22nd minute, I know had I been watching the game, I would have been like, dead cert that this was going to be a loss. We ended up in a fantastic defensive performance. What did you actually make of the performance from the lads to obviously get a 0-0 draw at Anfield? I don't know if this is accurate, but I saw somebody tweeted that we were the first team to get a clean sheet at Anfield since 2019. Which is unbelievable. And we had
10 men. I mean, let's face it, the last team that faced them away, Liverpool away from home, and they had 10 men. They were what, 4-5-0 down at 60 minutes, and they were at Old Trafford. So I'm proud of them. As soon as that donkey came off for his red card, I'm going to call him a donkey because that's what he does. He never learns. As soon as he came off, it was a different team, completely different team. The energy levels just went up, and I'm proud of every single one of them apart from that donkey. They did so well, and I honestly didn't expect to come away with a draw. But we did it, and I'm very, 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 very proud of them.
No, definitely. Like I said, I didn't watch the game, but I was astonished that one, we got a draw, and two, we got a draw with playing the vast majority of the game with 10 men. was
Back
phenomenal.
to that red card, I actually had a vein pop out my head. I was that angry.
I saw your message come through on WhatsApp. Well, I didn't see it come through, but
yeah,
I saw it after the game, and I thought, "Oh God, what's he done now?" Like, literally, that's the first thing I saw. I saw Lottie say something about 34 and just loads of angry emojis, and I was just like, "Oh God!" And then I was dreading to once I saw that on my phone. I was actually dreading to then find out what the scoreline was. But yeah,
I had no words. It was just that emoji with all the blackout with all the I've forgotten the word. Like all the question marks and the exclamation marks for blackout, the swearing.
Yeah.
Like my mum walked past me and she's like, "Are you all right? You got a vein popping out your head." And I'm like, I just looked at her. She went Granit Xhaka, and I went, "Yep."
Yeah, number 34 does that to us, man.
Yeah,
it really does
that to me. I like literally. It's the only player I've ever watched, and I've actually lost my temper over it.
No problem.
Can I just take this opportunity to say, Lottie, welcome to the Cannon Chatter Arms. This is your first visit.
I know.
To our pub.
Definitely.
I know.
You haven't come visit yet.
Well, I have technically visited. I've been in the chat, so
I know. It's good to have you back.
It's nice to be back on screen. I've missed you guys. I know I said it last stream, but I have missed you guys a lot. And I've been bouncing around 2 other channels, and I'm like, no, I want to come home. So
nice.
I'm so happy.
We'll find our new home here in the Cannon Chatter Arms.
Yeah. No,
definitely. I like it. I love it. And tonight is the lock-in. You know what I mean? Not last night, tonight is the lock-in. But yeah, that pretty much kind of sums up our analysis really of the game. Like I said, we've kind of covered obviously lineup, the Xhaka incident, obviously, the great performance by the lads, etc., etc. And obviously, we're taking a 0-0 into obviously tomorrow night's game. Now, before we get onto that, I'm going to go through.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you was right about Bergwijn. Ajax have submitted 2 official bids for him. I've seen loads of rumors about.
Yeah, I've seen loads of rumors about him. Potentially
2 goals
leaving the club.
in 79 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, before we get on to obviously the second leg tomorrow night, I'm gonna go through the comments, and then we'll obviously kind of break it up a little bit with some transfer news or lack of transfer news. So first of all, we've got here Stu, Burnley better not get cancelled on Sunday. Well,
they ain't got enough players.
Burnley are not playing games at the moment. Hi Stu, we've got Gary. Only Dusan or Arthur News will make tonight a good night. Really didn't expect Leicester to win though. No need to panic. Let's focus on tomorrow night. 100%. Keith here, sketchy challenge by 34 on Jota. Kind of make you think, Ronaldo having a strop after being subbed on the 70th minute. He was my captain this week too. Ben White got man of the match in the game. We've also got Chesney. He shouldn't have been brought back in the team when he told the fans to do one. Riddy, just a reminder that some folks wanted Rodgers at Arsenal. Yeah, there were quite a few Arsenal fans. And we've got Matt Darrington here, Lottie. And last comment before we move on, Spurs committed 12 fouls and got 1 yellow. Well, we all know what we think of the referees in this country. So, I'm going to bring up an image because now we're going to talk a little bit about transfers. Now, at the moment, there really is nothing to talk about in terms of incomings apart from a whole host of rumors. And we know who we're linked with. We're linked with, Vlahovic from Fiorentina, which right now I don't think anybody has a Scooby-Doo, whether that's going to go ahead or not. And we're linked with, numerous midfielders, most notably Arthur, who plays in midfield for Juventus, which looks like it could potentially, get done at some point. But I'm going to focus more on the present kind of outgoings. And as you can see, Balogun is wearing the Chatter Arms emblem on his face. So yeah, let me kind of scroll out a little bit. Oh, there we go.
Sorry, I've just taken that off the screen.
Steven's the master at the back there. You see that? Right. So at the moment, all these moves have basically been confirmed. So Balogun has made his transfer to Middlesbrough. Ainsley is now playing right back at Roma.
Right back. What?
Yeah. In his first game for Roma, he played right back. Yep.
I've got no words. I'm not saying nothing.
Ridiculous.
I'm going to swear.
Yeah, Kolasinac has had his contract terminated and has now joined Marseille, who basically are our feeder club at present. And Pablo Mari, it's not been confirmed, via the Arsenal kind of official website, but Arteta did speak about the move publicly today, about his move to Udinese and the reasons why he'll be making the move. Now, I'll come to you on this one, Stephen. So obviously looking at these 4 players, you can give an opinion on each transfer, or you can just kind of summarize the whole thing. I'll leave it entirely up to you. What are your thoughts about these 4 players in terms of leaving the club on loans and permanent moves this window?
All right, we'll just go around them. Balogun, I think it's a good move. I think we've seen, we all wanted him in the first team. We all sort of begged him up and said, "Oh, he needs this opportunity." He got an opportunity at the start of the season against Brentford, and he's had another couple of games here and there. He's not Premier League ready yet. He needs a bit more experience, so I think that's a good move for him. I think Chris Wilder has promised him he's going to be playing up front. And Middlesbrough are a team that are doing well in the Championship, so it's a good opportunity for him. I think it's a good move. I'm happy enough with it. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I mean, what can you say? We've spent years trying to tell the man he's a right back. We spent so long. I mean, we said it so much in this channel, and I know other channels said it, and loads of fans were saying it, and everybody could see it. If he dedicated himself to being a right back, he would have been a first team regular. We probably wouldn't have bought Tomiyasu in the summer.
Yep, 100%.
Because he could have locked up that position for himself. But he insisted he was a midfielder, and he's now been shipped out on loan. And he's gone straight into the Roma side at right back. Just stop fighting it and play your position. I think, to be honest with you, for the sake of his own career, he needs to move on. So, hopefully this works out well for him. And hopefully he does go there in the summer permanently. Kolasinac, do you know what? It was a strange one yesterday when I seen that he had gone. Because I know we have talked many times and said, "Oh, he needs to go, he's not good enough." But part of me was a bit sad when I actually seen him go. Just purely because as a man, I can say nothing bad about him. I really can't. I can't fault him. He seems to have a good heart. He has always given his all for the team. His all might not have been good enough, but he always gave his all for the team. I know you put out the clip again yesterday where you had said that the best thing he had done in an Arsenal shirt was protect Ozil. And in some ways it probably was, but it showed the measure of the man that he stood up.
Yeah, very true.
Very protect Ozil and his wife from those guys.
Very true.
So as I say, can't fault him as a man, can't fault him as a professional. But I'm not sad in the terms of what we got on the pitch.
Yeah.
We never got the player we thought we were going to get from him. We got him on a free. He'd been in the Bundesliga team of the season the year before. We all thought we were getting this great world-beating player who was going to kick on and be a great for the club. He wasn't. But as I say, it's kind of was a mixed emotions because sad to see him go because I wished it had worked out for him because he seems to be a good man. But yeah, he wasn't there. He didn't have the capabilities of the level that we need for Arsenal. And Pablo Mari, again, I know we talked about this last week. It was kind of strange that at the start of the season, when Gabriel was out, we were kind of thinking, well, it's all right. Mari's there. He had done well last season. All right, he's a bit slow. But other than that, he seems a very capable defender. And then he had the start of the season and he hasn't played since. And you're kind of like, he has no future at the club. And I think it's clear that, the likes of him, probably Holding as well, probably be away in the summer. Chambers, Saliba will be back, and I think we'll probably bring in another defender either now or in the summer. And that'll give us sort of 4 with White, Gabriel, Saliba, and one other competing for the 2 centre-back spaces. So again, good luck to Mari. It probably hasn't worked out the way it should. Can't really say anything bad about him because he hasn't caused any issues the way other players maybe have, but again, just wasn't quite at the level we were hoping for.
Yeah, no, for sure. Lottie, in terms of these players, gonna miss any of them? You think?
Balogun, Good luck. Come back stronger. I'm quite happy for him to go out on loan. He's not ready for first team football. Although a lot of people probably disagree. No, he should be starting. No, he's not ready. As for the other one on what you've just told me next to him, he can stay there. Don't want him back. And the other two, see you later. Good luck. That's all I've got to say.
Sweet.
I'm afraid. Short and sweet.
Short and
The
sweet.
Maitland-Niles things has actually annoyed me somewhat.
Yeah.
That's actually really got under my skin, especially after the loss. And the way
it's crazy
against Man United.
It's crazy because, like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? It's got to the point where I've even said on some of our shows that I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of talking about, we should play, Ainsley in right back, because it's clear the guy don't want to play right back. Like Stephen said, we wouldn't have gone out and got Tomiyasu, had this guy just dedicated his career to playing right back for Arsenal.
The thing is, I'm glad we got Tomiyasu.
Yeah, no, for real. I'm glad we got Tomiyasu, but it's just, I think, what I wish Ainsley all the best. I don't think he's got a long-term future at the club. I wish him all the best, but I just think, maybe he needs some better people around him. Because I think, had he made different choices, I think he could have literally gone down, as one of our, not necessarily one of our best players, but a real kind of fan favorite. If he had just kind of made better choices. But I think the choices he's made in terms of persisting that he's a midfielder, putting things up on social media, just because he's a really likable player, and he's a talented player. But he's a more talented right back than he is a centre mid, and I just think he needs to kind of get that in his head. But it's almost like it's like he doesn't want to accept that. He wants to, kind of prove everybody.
Where's the argument? Wrong. Where's the argument over in Italy then?
Well, this is it. He's gone to get regular football, and he's playing right back in his first game. And I guarantee you, Mourinho is gonna use him as a right back for the rest of the season. I guarantee it. Not gonna play him in midfield, which is crazy. But yeah, so those are obviously the confirmed outgoings in terms of Arsenal.
I think
I'm going to go through. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I think if he does play there for right back the rest of the season and he does come back, he's got no arguments not to play right back. Absolutely not a leg to stand on.
Well, he could potentially, like, if this move,
especially if Tommy goes off injured, he's got no argument.
If this move actually convinces him, finally the penny drops that he should be a right back, then he could save us a few bobbles, and actually just be in the squad as a competing for the right back position or second choice. Could save us some money, but I just can't see it. I can see him coming back and just being disgruntled and wanting to get that move where he can play in midfield. In terms of the comments, we've got Stu here. Yeah, I imagine it will be, but I can hope the game doesn't get cancelled, referring to the Burnley game at the weekend. Gary, they paid for 12 fouls. Keith here, move on from Vlahovic, please. We're going to get on to incomings or potential incomings any second. Happy they gone. Hopefully Balogun will come good. Matt here, Balogun needed a loan and glad he's got it. Ainsley leaving was ridiculous considering how short he was going to be, how short we were going to be with AFCON. I'm surprised actually Arsenal fans have not made more noise about that, to be honest, as well. Russ here, funny how we have got about 200k off the wage budget. Yeah,
not complaining. I mean, someone's coming. Who? I don't know.
Hopefully. Balogun will get his chances and some experience gained from the loan and toughen him up. And good luck to him out there. The corporal Carl Jenkinson has gone on loan to Melbourne. I saw that earlier, actually. And Tom here. Good evening, Tom. Evening, people. Thought I'd pop into my favorite non-alcoholic bar. I'll have a triple whiskey after tonight.
Tom, I'm joining you.
Yeah. Right. Now, in terms of incomings, I've literally got no images ready because I actually think people are actually sick of the sight of Vlahovic at this point. I think the only picture of Vlahovic that's going to put a smile on Gunners' faces is if he actually signs and we see him in the shirt. Other than that, we've just been bombarded with image after image, article after article, ITK after ITK in terms of what's going on. And to be honest, I don't think anybody has an absolute clue. So we've been linked with Vlahovic, we've been linked with Arthur, we've been linked with a host of players in midfield and up front. But as of right now, with 12 days to go till the end of the transfer window, we've signed absolutely nobody. Now, Lottie, are you worried by the lack of transfer activity
Well,
leading
I
up.
am concerned. I mean, the women have had three signings, and 2 of them played tonight. Do you know what I mean? It is concerning because we're so thin on the ground. Yes, Thomas Partey's back. There's only like a 1 or 2 hour time difference.
Yeah.
But it's I am concerned. I want to know what the hell Edu's doing. Is he on that barbecue again? And we're hot while we're all sitting here in the cold.
Well, look, he barbecued last summer, and you know what? He signed some decent players. So
I called him out for it in the summer. Where's these signings? We've got what? 12 days?
Yeah, 12 days.
12 days left.
Yeah.
And nothing. I want to know who's getting the signings for the Arsenal women because they need to come and do it for the men.
Yeah. So
we've had 3 signings in less than a week.
In terms of obviously with 12 days to go to obviously the transfer window closes, obviously it's not a huge amount of time. Now we don't know what work's being done behind the scenes. You know, Arsenal could have 2-3 deals practically tied up. It's just not really hit the mainstream media yet. But just given what we know so far, it's not a lot of time. It really isn't. Now, if you could sign not necessarily one player, but if you could sign a player to play in a particular position, what would you prioritize at this stage? Would it be up front or would it be midfield? Given that Partey, you know, has
middle of the park.
Come home early.
Middle of the park. We're scoring from the middle of the park, so I'm not really fussed. At the moment, I wanted someone to get rid of 34. That's my main issue at the moment. That's all I want, honestly. As long as it doesn't bench Sambi, I'm happy.
Yeah. So prioritizing midfield between now and the 31st.
I mean, since we've got rid of Oba, we scored 19 plus goals in the middle of the park. I'm not complaining this season compared to the miserable 3 from last year. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's true. Since we dropped Aubameyang, we have all of a sudden found our scoring touch, which is crazy. Doesn't make any sense, but it's happening. Stephen, in terms of obviously the lack of incomings, because I know we've had plenty of chats about this on WhatsApp and phone conversation, etc. And I know you probably share the same feelings as me. How are you feeling, obviously, with 12 days to go until the end of the window?
I don't know. It's a strange one. We need signings. We're constantly... I'm bored of the Vlahovic ones.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even bother bringing up a picture, honestly.
I'm just bored of it. Sign him or be done. I can't bother listening to it anymore. It's got to the point now where if I see a thing on Twitter about him, I just scroll past. Until I actually see him standing beside Arteta and Edu with an Arsenal shirt in his hand. I don't want to hear any more about it. The one with Arthur, apparently his agent was at Colney today with Edu.
Yeah.
The thing that gets me is to keep talking about Juventus want to sign a replacement before they'll let him go. Now, I went on to Juventus's squad earlier on. They have no less than 10 midfielders in their squad. So why do they need to sign another? You know, where are they playing all these midfielders?
Yeah.
It's just something's not right there. I don't buy this that they need to sign somebody else before they'll let him go. I think there's something else to it. I did hear rumours that they don't want the loan deal. They want a different formula. I.e., they want us to buy him, or they want a loan with an obligation that we will buy him in the summer. I don't think they're happy with the idea of a straight sort of loan or a loan with an option to buy. I think they want he's either going or he's not, because they need the money. You know, they still have Locatelli to pay for in another season's time. You know, they've got him on a 2-year loan and they've got to pay that off. There's talk that they have some sort of pre-agreement with Vlahovic already. They don't have the money to buy him, but they're trying to get him on a free in a year and a half's time.
Yeah.
So they need to free up funds and free up wages. They can't keep signing players. So I think that one still. I think there's a good possibility that one will happen, but it may be that we end up having to take Arthur on a permanent deal. Which, you know, yes, form at Juventus hasn't been wonderful, but if anybody watched him at Barcelona, he was an absolute world-beating player. You know, he was fantastic there. He just sometimes, you know, for players, certain leagues aren't right for them, or certain teams aren't right for them, and we've seen that with, you know, look at Pepe was brilliant in France has come over here, and it's maybe just the Premier League isn't right for him. Or maybe our style of play isn't right for him. But that's not to say if Pepe goes to another team that he'll flop.
Yeah.
You know, he may do great. So it's the same thing with Arthur. You know, it's a risk, but it's a worth risk taking because he was a fantastic midfielder at Barcelona.
There's a baller. He's a baller.
Yeah, there is, absolutely. If we don't sign anybody, I'd be seriously worried. We have a massive
this is what I was going to get onto.
Yeah, we have a massive opportunity to get top 4 this season.
Yeah.
And if we don't sign anybody, I think we're putting that in jeopardy. Because our squad is getting sort of a bit threadbare now with all these players going out on loans, and you know, there's 4 of the first team away that we spoke about. There's potentially is it Galatasaray or Fenerbahce or someone want to sit down over the next week and talk about Elneny, about potentially taking him now as well. And from all accounts, Arteta's happy for him to go.
There's even a bid that's coming from a Saudi Arabian club for Aubameyang tonight as well.
For Aubameyang, there could be another one. So there's potentially 6 outgoings in one window. And at the minute, nobody coming in to replace it. And our squad was smallish based on the fact that we didn't have European football. And okay, we're out of Europe, or not out of Europe, out of the FA Cup now. So, you know, as I said before, we've only got the league and we've got one more game tomorrow night. And if we get through that, we have the final. But if we're out tomorrow night, we only have, 16 league games left or something?
Yeah. Scary.
18 league games left. Can't remember. What have we played, 20 or 22?
We've played 20.
We've played 20.
We've got 20.
We've got 23. Yeah, 3 games.
Yeah, so we've 18 games left.
Yeah.
If we go out tomorrow night, if we don't go out tomorrow night, we have tomorrow night 20 games potentially maximum left this season. Okay, you can do that with a smaller squad, but if 1 or 2 players get injured from that smaller squad, you know, it puts a lot of strain on. And you've seen now, obviously, with the COVID stuff as well, you know, how quickly that can rip through a squad and deplete things. And, you know, dear help us if we try to get another match postponed. You know. So, yeah, it worries me if we don't sign anybody. It really does.
So just you know, hypothetically, if, you know, at the moment we haven't signed anyone, and, you know, it looks as though if you actually look at it's almost like a game of chess. If you look at the way, you know, it's being played, it shows all the signs of, because look, there's no smoke without fire. We're linked with some, you know, some pretty decent players, and heavily linked as well. So, you know, that shows you that, you know, the club is active. Unlike past windows, you know, Arsenal's business is very much hush hush. It seems like there are very few leaks in terms of the deals and the business that we do. But if we were to sign nobody between now and obviously the 31st, I'll come to you first on this one, Lot, and then I'll come to you, Stephen. Realistically, where do you see us finishing between now and the end of the season with the current squad we've got?
Top 6. I'm sticking to my guns, as I said at the beginning of the season.
You still think we'll finish in the top 6?
Yep. Yeah? Not top 4, top 6.
Okay.
Stephen?
I would say top 6, but I think we might not get top 4 if we don't get a couple of players in. I think we risk the top 4. We have a massive chance of top 4, and I think if we get the right signings, you know, if we got an Arthur and a Vlahovic, you're pretty nailing on top 4.
Yeah.
At this point. Yeah. You know, potentially even with the way Chelsea are slipping up, you could be going for top 3.
You could definitely push for it. Like, not to say that, you know, with the right signings, we couldn't get it, but we could definitely give them a run for their money. Because I think at some point, Chelsea are going to hit form again. I can't see them kind of continually playing so bad as they are at the moment. Obviously, it could happen, but I think with the squad they got, I think they're going to hit form again. So right now is you know, me and you, Stephen, were having this conversation last night. I think it was in the WhatsApp group, and I was saying, you know, for me, I'm frustrated at the lack of transfer activity, but I think that's more so the case because when I look at the league table, and see how well we've actually done to be in a position where top 4 is within reaching distance. But then I'm looking at the form of Chelsea and I'm thinking to myself, now, I don't want to go down the route of we've got games in hand because We know how that's generally working out for the likes of United and Spurs. But realistically, we have 3 games in hand on Chelsea. And if we won all those 3 games, we'd be on the same amount of points. That's a fact. So you just think, when you look at the league table, when you look at how well we've done, there is a massive opportunity here to sign a couple of good players. And like you said, all of a sudden, secure 4th spot, if not, push for that 3rd spot. And I just think it will be a massively missed opportunity if we don't. But I guess the next 12 days will basically let us know, whether or not we can get the business done or not. I'm going to go to the comments now before we move on. So we've got here Stu here. Evening to Tom. Hope you're all very well, matey. I'm already on the Vino. We've got Keith. He agreed to join Juve. We got to get a move on to someone else quickly, and I think he's referring to Vlahovic. There is rumours that he has some kind of pre-agreement. It can't be anything legal because he's under contract, but maybe some kind of gentleman's agreement or verbal agreement that he's going to run his contract down. And what I do know is that, I don't necessarily personally know, but it's very evident that obviously from Fiorentina's point of view, they do not want this to happen because he's one of the best prospects in world football in terms of being a striker. And to get him to leave on a free in 2023 would be absolutely crazy. They're going to miss out on big bucks for him. Matt here, Edu has his face-to-face with Arthur's agent today. Yeah, we saw those rumours. Stephen mentioned them earlier. Riddy Sakar, we will do good to finish 6th if we don't sign a striker now. Lack of remaining fit is a gamble. Yeah, it really is. And we don't even know what's going to go on with Aubameyang because obviously you've got obviously the situation with him being withdrawn. And I'll come to you guys on this actually. What did you make of that, Alotti, with the Aubameyang situation? Because obviously he's gone off to the AFCON now. He hasn't played a game due to...
He's back.
Yeah, he's now back in London. But there have been rumours. I know he actually put out a social media post about it. Because obviously, it was confirmed that there were some issues with his health. But there were also some rumours to suggest that his brothers or him or whoever associated with his camp was sneaking like drunk girls or whatever into the hotel. And there was a bit of a disagreement. What have you made of all this kind of... He just doesn't seem to escape the headlines, no matter where he goes or what he does.
From what me and Ryan were talking about earlier, apparently they snuck out and they got a top paper over in Gabon and reported it. And then there was a social media post from him saying that he's quitting the international team. Yeah. It's been taken down since.
He denied the rumours.
People have seen it. Yeah, he denied it. And he said, I won't have this slander about me and my family and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden the post has come down. I don't know what's going on there. I think with his behaviour, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know because obviously him going out, getting drunk and having women around him is going to cause problems with his wife because he's got a happy family life.
Yeah.
Well, from what we see.
Yeah. It just seems to be just, one thing after the other. You know what I mean? I was kind of hoping that a little bit of me was kind of hoping that he'd go off to AFCON. He'd have a break from obviously Arsenal. He'd get some goals under his belt. Obviously playing at AFCON. Gabon seemed to have a better team than I thought they had. In terms of some of the games I've watched. And I thought he'd come back, feeling a bit refreshed, maybe hit a bit of form. But it's just no matter where he is or what he does, he just cannot seem to escape controversy. And as we know from Arteta, he can't stand controversy. It's just something he doesn't want, to be affiliated with the club. So
no,
it's
definitely not. I mean, it's because of the amount of class we carry ourselves with, and that just tarnishes it. I do think that he's going to be iced out further now, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I can see it as well. Tom here saying it's always the Arsenal way, rush around and sign them up on 11:49 p.m. on the final day. Matt Darrington, a striker is what we need. Really don't get why we've not got in for Watkins. The Mr. Arsenal podcast.
I need to comment on this. Anybody who's just watched the stream, I was on with Ryan, right? He stood there at the free kick and said this goal was going to go in. What happened? You jinxed it, Ryan.
Ryan jinxed it. Tom here, Jesus. I just read Robinho being sentenced to 9 years in prison. Talk about fall from grace. Yeah, Lottie shared that with us earlier. By all accounts, he got exactly what he deserved. Keith here. Think the Arthur thing will happen. They want us to loan for 18 months. Gary saying 18 months. The benefit of that is what? Keith, what did he get done for? Oh yeah, it was. I believe it was sexual assault of a minor. Is what
it was something else, wasn't it? It was in our WhatsApp group. I think it was rape or something. Unless it or something to that effect.
Yeah, something like that. Unthinkable, whatever it was. Like I say, he got the years he deserved.
Yeah.
Matt Darrington, sell Uber, sell. Keith here. Well, they want us to pay wages for 18 months. Like the obvious. Sam, hate all of you. Hope none of you saw the women's game.
Sam, I watched it.
Tom here doing something he def shouldn't have. Gary, I didn't.
Gary, you watched it with me.
He's
telling 40 pies.
We've got here Keith 6 without any signings. Gary here, I was crying to Sam. Keith, our due diligence in the summer was spot on. The proof is in the success of most of the signings. I'm frustrated but trusting, if that makes sense. I'm exactly where you are, but doubtful as well. Check Jack Wilshere Instagram.
He's just seen
put a post up. What is it?
He's training in the new kits, and he's put timers on the comment.
Okay.
So I think we're probably going to end up signing him.
Okay, we'll see. That'll be one to watch.
Indications from him anyway.
Yeah, Gary's saying here, but Keith, the outgoings are shrinking the depth and could come back to haunt us. Sam, I wanted to my phone out of the window, but the new signings looked really exciting. Only good thing.
Yeah, they were really good. I was really quite excited. I'm looking forward to seeing Rafa now. Looking forward to that. Got to get a Arsenal lady show up. I think on the new signings.
Definitely. Matt here. Jacket is signing. He got to be by that post. He has to be laugh out loud wearing the gear. Sam, I think it's looks a bit suspect to try push through a move. Keith, Gary, the squad is getting light. You're right. Gary, right now Arsenal have no strikers who score and no depth behind. Keith, 1,000,000% Ollie Watkins. Gary, Lottie, you are correct. Ryan's women's watching privileges are up for review. Bad Ryan.
Yes.
Problem with Uba is his brother. Yep. Leon's AFC, Ben White will be in the midfield tomorrow. Right, and that comment kind of leads us nicely on to our last kind of talking point of the night, which is tomorrow night's game. Now, you could arguably say, tomorrow night's game, obviously, hopefully we get through, but tomorrow night's game is arguably the biggest game of the season in terms of, it's our only chance of any silverware. We're not going to win the league, that's for sure. So, obviously going through against Liverpool in the second leg and going to the final to meet Chelsea is our only realistic chance of a trophy this season. Now, good news is we've got quite a few players back. It's been kind of unofficially confirmed that a lot of players are actually back with contention of being picked. But Arteta, I don't know if you guys saw the press conference today. He was very, very good at keeping his cards close to his chest in terms of he didn't reveal. He basically said, I can't and I don't want to tell you who is available to be picked. So definitely playing mind games with Mr. Klopp from the Liverpool. So in terms of this game, it's a massive game tomorrow night. How are you feeling about this game, Lottie?
I'm excited. I'm going. So I'm really excited. It's going to be interesting to see who's playing. I mean, I really did enjoy Arteta's interview this morning. Was it this morning? Yeah. Yeah,
about 1:30 today. It was good. It was interesting.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't looking at the time. I just had it on the background as I was working. But his interview was good, and there's no telling what he's going to throw out at Josephine. Sorry, guys. I don't know if you two saw my tweet. I've renamed Jurgen Klopp Josephine. He's now there's now Maureen and then there's Josephine. So, I'm actually quite looking forward to it.
No problem. Stephen, how are you feeling about tomorrow night's game?
I'm apprehensive, but quietly confident at the same time, if that makes sense. We're never going to have as good a chance to beat them as we do now, because obviously we've seen they aren't playing as well without Salah and Mane.
Yeah.
So we have a good opportunity. Whether we can do it or not, it's a different question. If we play with the team spirit that we played with last Thursday, we've every opportunity of doing it. It's effectively a one-off game now.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at it like that, it's a one-off game. It's a 0-0. There's got to be a winner tomorrow night. Yeah, quietly confident.
Quietly confident. You know what? It's like I've not massively felt like nervous about the game up until today, when I was just like, wow, okay. You know, it kind of hit me that you know we are obviously, you know, I would say predicted to get top 6. I think top 4 is realistic, but I think it really depends on who we sign in this window. But I'd still be happy-ish with a top 6 finish based on what we've done over the last 2 seasons. But yeah, it's we always tend to, you know, as Arsenal fans, we tend to enjoy a good cup run. You know, usually it's the FA Cup. This season, you know, it's not meant to be. But yeah, it just kind of hit me, and I thought to myself, like, wow, tomorrow night's game is massive. You know, not only we're playing Liverpool, who are, you know, probably one of 2 of the top sides in English football, but it is realistically our only chance at silverware. You know, we're two games away from actually lifting a trophy. And I wasn't very optimistic going into this tie last week, but I think given the performance that the lads put in last week, when, you know, their backs were really against the wall, it's kind of made me feel a bit more confident. The only thing is, I just feel like we, you know, with Arsenal, we've got this Nottingham Forest performance in our locker, you know, where we can just rock up. You know, we did it at Anfield, and then I just wouldn't put it past the lads to turn up at home and just not turn up. That's the problem I have. That's my kind of worry. That's my concern. But I completely agree with both of you in that, you know, if we turn up and we play like we did last week, by all means, we can definitely win the game. And we tend to turn up, you know, in kind of like cup finals. And this feels very much like a cup final, even though it's a semi, because it's just a straight knockout. So yeah, I'm feeling the same. It'll be interesting to get you lot's score predictions. We didn't really do one for the fans. Are we going to do one, Stephen? Should we just get one?
No, because it's
it's Carabao, isn't it?
Anyway.
Yeah, it's only for the league. Yeah, no, probably. Well, scrap that. But yeah, in terms of your
drop your score predictions in the chat now. Anyway, you just don't know what people think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So if you obviously, you know, let us know how you're feeling with regards to the game. Let us know what your score predictions are. I'll come to you first, Stephen. What are you predicting in terms of tomorrow night's game?
I'm going to go for tight 1-0. I think we're going to score early in the second half. I think it's going to be 0-0 up at half-time. I think we'll score early in the second half, and we'll cling on. And I'm going to say we'll cling on.
Cling on. Squeaky bum time.
It will be squeaky bum time for the last sort of, I'd say 35 minutes. It'll be squeaky bum.
Lottie, what about yourself?
Stephen, you just want my blood pressure to rise. Don't say that. I've just seen Keith's one as well, and I'm like, no.
Don't be thinking about my bum.
I'm going to be cold. That's what I'm concerned about. It's cold.
Come on.
Do you know what? I fancy a 1-1, then extra time, and then penalties. I'd love that.
Oh, don't do it to me. No.
You should. Honestly, I tell you what. If it does happen, just remember I'll be sitting in the ground upstairs in the cold. Yeah, just remember that. Pray for me.
I can't do it. I honestly want this game to. Obviously, if it has to go to extra time and penalties for us to win the game, so be it. But I honestly want Arsenal to just get it done within the 90. So because we've got one eye on obviously the game against Burnley, if it goes ahead. But for me, I honestly can't see us keeping a clean sheet across 2 games against Liverpool. So I'm going to have to go 2-1. So we've got Stephen, squeaky bum time, 1-0. We've got Lottie, who says, did you say 1-1 extra time? Win on
One
penalties?
extra time and penalties.
Win on penalties?
Of course. Don't be
Of
silly.
course. Okay. Of course. Of course.
Of course.
And
Don't
then
be
I'm
silly.
going to go with 2-1. So we'll head to the chat. And obviously, while you're putting in your score predictions, that basically brings an end to the show. Obviously, if there's anything else you want to talk about or discuss or for us to chat about next kind of 5-10 minutes before we wrap up, do let us know. There is one last thing I'm going to cover, and that's obviously the FA investigation into match betting or fixing or whatever it is that's come out tonight. But we'll go to the comments and get some of these.
Just before you do, I just want to ask a couple of quick things a Lottie. So if it went to penalties, would you take Ramsdale off and put Leno on in the last minute?
No, I don't trust
That's
Leno.
a good question, though, because I've not been massively, dare I say it, I've not been massively impressed with Ramsdale in terms of his saves against, what I've seen when he's been up against penalties. And Leno is pretty decent in a penalty shootout.
I've never seen Ramsdale save a penalty.
No. It's a good question, and I didn't even think about that.
But I don't trust Leno as far as I can throw him, but it'd have to be done because those moments are the ones where he steps up. He actually steps up and does something. Whereas Ramsdale's more in-game play.
Yeah, you look at Chelsea; they do it, don't they? They always take their first team player, their first team goalkeeper off, and is it Caballero they put on, or whoever it is? Yeah, he's a phenomenal stopper. Yeah.
Then the other question, Lottie, just very quickly, when it comes to the women's game and these new signings at Arsenal, who's the new number 26?
26. Do you know
Laura,
what?
someone.
She's from Hoffenheim. Laura. I can't pronounce her last name. I know her first name's Laura. Okay. She did get her debut tonight. She didn't look too bad.
She may take over from Katie McCabe as the object of my affection.
I know, but if we could... don't. It's depressing. I don't know how Jennifer Beattie's still playing. I do not want to see Jen Beattie or Nikita Paris start for the rest of the season. There you go. There's her name. Tommy's just put it in the chat. Sorry.
That's all right.
I can't pronounce that.
I'm not even going to try. I'm
just going to call her Laura. That's easier.
Just call her Laura.
Yeah, call her Laura. That's her name. So, and then you've got Stina Blackstenius, and you've got Rafael Salza as well for our first female Brazilian midfielder / defender, which I'm quite excited to see. From tonight, though, Laura got thrown into the dugout and there was no card. She got thrown into the dugout. No, nothing. It was ridiculous. She was all right, but it's just nightmare.
No problem. Keith here, 2-1. He's going for to the Arsenal. We've got Gary. Arteta has to go all out, but I fear he will be reserved and will get caught out being too cautious. Tom here saying let's all go to the final road trip. Keith saying yes, Tommy. We've also got Riddy. I think it's going.
Tommy's been to every game, so he's definitely up for final tickets.
Tom is saying 3-1. Keith is saying 3-2 extra time. Stu is saying 2-1 AFC. Gary want 2-1 Arsenal, but expect 1-1 result. Flip a coin. Riddy has gone for why has that not come up? Riddy has gone for 1-1 extra time. Arsenal win 4-2 on penalties. Tom, wear the black hoodie, Lottie. I can assure you from experience it will keep you.
Guys, if you're looking to get a hoodie off Arsenal, get the black one with this built-in snood.
Okay, nice and cozy.
Yeah, I know, but the Arsenal one's
got the blue one as well.
You need to get a built-in snood put in then. In that case, actually, I might do that myself. I'll make one myself because it's cold.
Keith here saying, if it was him, I'd bet 65k on him to get yellow frequently. Also, if it is him, other past crimes or stupidity will need looking at, and we're going to cover that probably just before we come off the air. I'm not going to pronounce that. She's a beauty. You're right. Keep saying, oh no, Leah, I love Leah.
Yeah, Leah Williamson's back, G. You need to start watching the game. She's back.
Is that right?
She played tonight. Yeah, she played tonight. She's brilliant. I've missed her so much.
Have a good night, G, Stephen, and Lottie. Totally agree, Stephen. Gary says, good night, chat room. Good night, Gary. Have a good evening. Really, unfortunately, the manager out brigade will be on the march again if we lose tomorrow.
Yes.
Is that hoodie on Arsenal Direct?
Yes.
No, you just contact us. We'll sort out the details of where you get a Cannon Chatter hoodie.
There we go.
That is also true. That is also true.
And that pretty much rounds up obviously the show. Obviously the news has broken out tonight. Even when we try to start the headlines, we can't start the headlines. It wasn't the uproar that we saw, obviously, with regards us getting one game postponed, even though 20 before us were getting postponed or had been postponed. But yeah, so there's an FA investigation, obviously, into a somewhat suspect or suspicious yellow card that was given to an Arsenal player. Now, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of rumours going around that the player involved is the one and only number 34. And it's a lot of rumours about him kind of time wasting. I think I saw a clip saying it took him 20 seconds to actually pass a ball when he had options. There's also been rumours about, aligning one of the articles saying that the ref is not under investigation, and then later on that line was actually removed from the article.
Wasn't that the Athletic?
Yeah, in the Athletic. Yeah. So yeah, guys, make some sense out of this. Like, what are your thoughts with regards, obviously this news breaking tonight? Opinions. What do you think?
Well, for a start, I'm not the only Arsenal fan who puts money on him to pick up a red or a yellow card. That's just fact. I mean, someone said to me on Twitter, is it really even a bet? It's like betting if half-time's going to turn up or not. Yeah. It's an easy money maker. It's free money. So when you watch the clip that's going around at the moment, you watch it and you think, what are you doing? It doesn't look right. It doesn't. I definitely think it's him, and I definitely think Andre Marin has got something to do with it. But we never have a quiet week at Arsenal, do we? We just can't have a normal week. We're going to get a BAFTA award for this documentary. Yeah. This is a nightmare.
You literally can't. You can't predict it. It's just one thing after another. Stephen, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, it's one of them things. You don't want to jump in and say it's definitely one person, because it could be anybody. We just don't know. I think obviously the clip you're referring to, Lottie, is probably the one against Leeds.
Yeah, that's the game they're looking at.
4-1 up. It's like the 85th minute, and he gets booked for time wasting. It's kind of, it looks a bit suspect, and the rumor is there's £65,000 bet placed on him getting booked in the last 10 minutes. So that's where that's come from, and a couple of people have sort of said that there's proof that that bet was put on, and they've been able to bring up stuff and show it. The other sort of one that's doing the rounds as well, I don't know if you've seen this, was it could possibly be something to do with Aubameyang and his brother.
No, I haven't.
That it could be something to do with Willie Aubameyang putting a bet on, on Pierre-Emerick getting booked, and that this could be something to do with why he's been stripped of his captaincy.
Okay, that's an interesting
that
one.
Makes more sense.
Because we know there's obviously a lot more going on in the background than what we've been told about the whole Aubameyang being stripped of his captaincy. So it could make sense that if it is him, but that is why it's happened. I was looking at it. Aubameyang's been booked 3 times this season.
Yeah.
So there is the possibility. I haven't gone sort of back and watched the bookings to see, but I think 34's one against Leeds does look very suspect. It's massively suspect the way it happens, and there's absolutely no need for it at all.
I'm one of the guilty ones that actually benefited from that.
I think what I would say is if they're found guilty, whoever it is, they can never put on an Arsenal shirt again.
No, they need to go. They need to be banished from this club. There's no way back now for whoever it is.
And well, we all know obviously we all know, whatever comes of this, if they're found guilty, Arteta is gonna hold no prisoners. That's one thing. And I think secondly, the media coverage, they're gonna absolutely cane us in the tabloids, because we don't even have to do anything wrong and they cane us in the tabloids.
Oh no, do you know what?
We literally put in an application for a game to be postponed, which 40 other teams or 20 odd other teams have done, and there's been no media coverage, and we literally was on the back page of every single newspaper in the UK based on one application into a game. So if we're found guilty of this, or an Arsenal player or whoever's affiliated with Arsenal is found guilty, we're going to get absolutely hammered in the press.
Gee, you got to remember, George Graham once said, "It's okay that people hate us. It's in our history."
Yeah,
they hate us. We're the classiest club. They hate us.
Yeah, I get it, and you know what? I have found it really amusing. But, like, the uproar. At the same time, this is like this is like with the whole postponing the game. That's just jealousy. That's just hatred. That's just a reason to want to kind of dislike Arsenal. But if one of our players is actually, or if one of or two of our players or whatever are found guilty of this, to be fair, you can't really blame the press, to kind of go in, because that's it's wrong. It's completely wrong.
The press might go in. Can you imagine what this fan base is going to do?
Well, I just hope that the investigation goes, and I hopefully nobody behind the scenes has done anything kind of illegal, and it's just a kind of matter of going through the process. They've got to investigate, because obviously something's been reported or whatever. Because I think if this is Aubameyang, Xhaka, or any Arsenal player, I just think it's just gonna be horrific for us as a club. They're really gonna take us to town on it. So yeah, it's not something I'm looking forward to or I want to happen. So we just have to kind of keep our eyes and ears peeled to see how this unfolds.
Tell you what, Amazon will be commissioning season 2 of the All or Nothing documentary already.
Yeah,
they'll be licking their lips at this.
We're the only team that gets season 2 and all.
Bro, this DVD, this box set, of Arsenal's season is just gonna be crazy watch.
Right, as soon as it drops on Amazon Prime, I am binge watching it all the way through.
Literally, it's just going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. But yeah, let us know your
watch along.
Yeah.
No or Nothing watch along.
That'll be fun.
We'll watch it together.
Definitely.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Let us know your thoughts in the chat. Obviously, I'm going to go through the last comments and then we're going to wrap up tonight's show. Just a quick NDB30 TV. Good night, all. Good night. Have a good evening. Tom, I reckon George Graham has something to do with it. He's got previous. Really, how about investigating John Moss tonight for playing 7 minutes extra time? Really, we also got a player sent off against Leeds in the EFL when we were winning 2-0. If betting is being investigated, PGMOL, what does that stand for? Is that a stupid question?
That's something to do with the referees, right?
Like the refereeing organization.
I think that's the organization for the referees or something. I'm not too sure.
Okay, not sure what that means, but yeah. If they need to be in a conversation, too many suspect decisions and VAR is too open to potential abuse. Uber has potential. Russ here, that Spurs player jumping into the crowd to celebrate his second when he was already on a yellow card. These refs are embarrassing.
Did he not get a yellow card for that? He should have been sent off
whatsoever with the refereeing in this country. Here's the link for the black hoodie. Tom here, I don't understand if it is Uber or something to do with him. He's on 300k a week. How much money does one person need? Would he risk his career for 100k? Makes no sense. We'll just have to wait and see. Tom, again, I'm going to wait to see what Sue Gray says before I comment further on it. Partey. And guaranteed Jeff Bezos is the bookie. And that's about it.
Just one thing. Sorry, Jay. Stu obviously put in the thing. Here's the link for the black hoodie. For some reason, StreamYard doesn't actually allow you to put links in, which is why that's not showing up. So the system that we use to stream these on, it doesn't allow you to put links into it. So
no problem.
Maybe just to find them on Twitter and send them the link that way.
Cool. Cheers for that. What we're going to do now is run through the socials. Lottie, can you do me the pleasure of running through the socials, and then we will let you guys know when we're back ahead of obviously the weekend, and we'll go through any last comments. So,
okay, guys, if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at Cannon Chatter. If you want to follow Stephen, who's on this side up here, it's at SB Cannon Chatter. If you want to follow this wonderful human being over here, which is our host tonight, which is G, it's at G Talks Arsenal. It's not changed to G Rant yet. I've still got money on it to change soon. Or if you want to follow me, it's at Lottie _B, 2 T's and 2 I's, because someone actually beat me to the normal spelling. That's not actually how I spell my name. Because I've noticed a lot of people just say, "I Lottie," and they actually stick 2 I's in it. It's no 2 I's in it.
I did it the wrong way around today, but hey.
Oh, do you know what? It's fine. Doesn't matter. I haven't done this in a while. If you want to follow us on Facebook, it's just punch in your search bar, Cannon Chat, or same with Instagram, Cannon_Chat, or even TikTok, it's Cannon_Chatter. My blog, I still owe you guys one more blog. I haven't finished my Liverpool post yet. I'm going to have to do 2. I'm going to hopefully finish that one tomorrow. But if you want to have a look at any of my blogs, it's at lottieafc.blogspot.co.uk.
And you only have to wait, 12 more days to see my first one on your blog?
Yes, I can't wait for that to come. Hopefully, I'm actually going to push you to get that done. I want that. I literally want that. I mean, we've got the international break coming up, haven't we, soon?
Yeah.
So that will probably be dropped during then, hopefully, if Stephen gets it done this time. I'm hoping he will. If you want to purchase any of the T-shirts or the hoodies that we've all got on tonight, unbelievably, for the first time.
Yeah, matching.
You can email info@cannonchatter.com, or you can DM Stephen on Twitter at SBCannonChatter.
Wicked.
Lastly, make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications, and hit that like button.
Thank you so much. And yeah, literally, so we're just going to go through obviously the last comments before we wrap everything up. Can't really remember where we were. Is here. Keith says, guarantee, okay, that was the last one we did. Stu, okay, no worries, at Cannon Chat TV. Thanks. Adios, you lovely folks. Take care all. Take care of yourself. Keith, great show, guys, as usual. Good to have you back, Lottie. Come on, you Gunners, forever. Indeed. And Keith here, great show, you lot. I'm off to place a bet.
Don't put any money on 34. I don't think he's playing tomorrow.
And that's
Can he play tomorrow?
What's that?
Can he play tomorrow?
No, he's suspended.
No. Oh, okay. I thought he was suspended for Sunday.
Yeah, no, he's suspended.
I get confused with the suspensions because they changed it. They change it with cup games and league games. It confuses the hell. It confuses me.
Yeah.
I think we should appeal and get him suspended at the end of the season.
That's funny.
I think Preety should get him deported personally, but you know.
But yeah, that pretty much rounds it up. Lottie, I'll come to you. Any last words?
I just want to say thank you to everyone to tuning in tonight. It's really nice just to be back. I've missed you too, as I said earlier. And yeah, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world.
Stephen?
Yeah, just want to same thing. Thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you, Lottie. Good to see you again. Glad to have you back with us. Thank you to G for hosting. For anybody going to the game tomorrow night, enjoy, stay safe, have a great night. Hopefully we pick up the win on the Wembley, and we will be back, I think, Friday night to do a review and hopefully a preview of the Burnley game, provided it's going ahead.
Yep.
And hopefully by that stage as well, we can sort of fill you in on what we're going to do over the international break, because we're 2 weeks off. And obviously, I know we've got some ideas for some shows. We've got the transfer deadline coming up on the 31st of January. So we may potentially do another bit of a deadline day as we did before. So plenty coming up on the channel. Keep tuned. Thanks a lot. And yeah, that's me, G.
No problem. Yeah, just a massive thank you for everybody for tuning in. Have a lovely evening. And until next time, keep chatting.